Hello guys and welcome back to Madfire on channel. So in this tutorial series we are going to create a simple endless traffic racer game. In this series we are going to check input system which will be used to move our player, and in our vehicle selection system endless level generation with reusing existing level pieces, vehicle selection system which will allow the player to select different vehicles, random enemy spawning, singleton concept, and more. The entire project is available on GitHub. The link will be in the description. And if you want to follow the entire series, then you can check out my Patreon page. The link will be in the description. All the videos of this series are uploaded there, and you will also get premium version of this project which has extra features in it like Facebook login, AdMob, Unity ads, Unity in-app purchase, social share, game analytics, and more. Click on scripts folder, right click and create a new C# script, and let's call this player uh, controller. Double click on player controller to open it in editor, and let's add the namespace. So namespace traffic racer. So now we want to make sure that the game object will have the player controller on it will have a rigid body. Above our player class, we will type required component, and it will be type of rigid body. Okay, so this makes sure that whenever we attach the script to any game object, a rigid body component will be attached to it. So we'll create a few variable private float index pose which will be equal to 0. This will be basically storing the new X position for our car. Then we need private rigid body, my body, to store our rigid body in it. So in start method, we will get our rigid body. So my body is equal to game object dot get component rigid body. Then we will set our my body dot is kinematic to true, and my body dot use gravity equal to false. So here we are setting our is kinematic to true and use gravity to false is because when we are playing our game, we don't want any gravity or any external force to be acted on our game object. So that's why we are saving this thing. So to subscribe to our input manager event, we will create two methods: private void on enable and private void on disable. So on enable and on disable are Unity's default methods. So on enable is called whenever our game object is activated, and on disable is called whenever our game object is deactivated. So in these methods, we are going to subscribe and unsubscribe to our event. So here we will call our input manager dot instance dot swipe callback. So we need to subscribe one method for that. So down here we will create a void swipe method, and we will pass a parameter of swipe type. Let's copy this, and here in on enable we are going to subscribe. So plus equals swipe method, copy this, paste it on here, and in on disable we are going to unsubscribe. So just minus it. Okay, so whenever our input manager detect a swipe, it will call this swipe callback and will pass the swipe type, and as our player controller is subscribed to it, it will listen to that event and it will call this method here. So now here we are getting our swipe type. So we'll create a switch statement. So switch swipe type, and we will populate all our cases here. So right now we are going to check only for right and left swipe cases, so we will remove all the others. So in swipe type dot right case, we will set our end expose is equal to transform dot position dot x plus 3 because we want to move on right side, and in left case we will set our end expose equal to transform.position.x minus 3. Now after our switch statement, we are going to clamp our expose. So end expose is equal to mathf.clamp end expose, and we are going to clamp it between minus 3 and 3 because we know our car won't go beyond 3 and minus 3 distance. And now we need to apply this exposition to our transform. For that we will need a twin engine. So we can go to our asset store. So in search for asset, just search for do twin and click on this. We can just download and import it. So if you guys don't know about DoTwin or new to DoTwin, then you can check out my DoTwin tutorial. In that, I have covered all the basics of DoTwin with the example of platformer game. So it will be very helpful for you guys. You can go and check it out. So once we have imported our DoTwin, we will see this window here. So click on Open DoTwin, then click on Setup, and then click on Apply. Okay, so now we have done all this thing. Let's go to our scene again. Let's go to our script. So to use DoTwin, we need to import our DoTwin. So we'll call using dg.twinning. Okay, now we are going to move. So transform dot do move x. So we need to move only in x axis, so we will call our do move x. Our end position is equal to end expose, and our time will be 0.25 seconds, or let's say 0.15 seconds. And before we go and test, let's remove our update method because we are not going to use them, and we need few methods which will complete as we go forward. So first will be public void game start. So this method will be called by our level manager, which will inform our player controller that game has started, and this game start will use this line. So right now we are subscribing to swipe callback event in our on enable. This is for temporary purpose only, but in future videos we are going to use game started method for that. And we will also need to have a on trigger method is Unity's default method. So here we are going to check for our enemy. So right now we don't have any enemy. So what we can do is we will check for if other dot game object dot name is equal to enemy. So we are going to make changes for this if condition. We will be using a more precise way, but for now we will use this. So once we have encountered our enemy or detected our enemy, what we will do is we will, so inside this if condition we are again going to check if game manager dot singleton dot game status is equal to game status dot playing. So we have to confirm that our game status is playing. Then we are going to kill our do twin. So do twin dot kill this. So any do twin process which is happening on this game object will get killed. Then we will set our my body dot is kinematic equal to false, my body dot is gravity equal to true, and we are going to add force. So my body dot add force, and it will be a random dot inside unit circle dot normalize into 100. So we are using inside unit circle, so this makes sure that the force will be added only in x and y direction, and we are normalizing it so that the value will be between 0 and 1, and we are then multiplying it with 100. Okay, so once we have done this, let's go back to our editor. So for temporary purpose, click on this car one and let's drag our player controller to it. So as you can see here, as soon as I dragged our player controller, a rigid body is attached to it. So let's create a new empty game object, make it static, reset this position, and we will call this input manager. Now let's drag our input manager to it. Okay, so our input manager is ready, our player control is ready. So let's test our swipe detect. So click on play and let's swipe to right, and our car is moving. Let's try to swipe right again, and you see our car is not moving. Let's swipe to left and it moves to left. Let's swipe again left and moves to left. Okay, so now our swipe thing is working for our car. Okay, so let's stop this thing. Let's delete our car one prefab because we are not going to use it like this. Our level manager will be responsible for everything which is created inside this game. And let's also delete our road holder